well. Hi, everyone. Great. 26 folks on the call. Good. We're all 5 minutes after, so I think we can start. Sarah, are we ready to start? Let's start.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll start with a little bit. Well, first, congratulations. Round of applause. Round of applause, everyone. We're here. This is our fifth and last session of the Women Takemakers Mentor Development Program. This is really the first of its kind program to really help you build confidence and get all the tools that you need to become just confident and amazing mentors within our programs, Google programs, but also back at your communities. We're so grateful to have given this opportunity. We know how precious your time is. You're all doing amazing things in your own worlds, and we know how, just these 2 hours every week and the additional time you spend with your mentor coach, we know how precious your time is, and it is so valuable. So we really are, we appreciate the opportunity and the trust that you've given us in this. And we're really hopeful and excited about this. This is, again, we just mentioned it at the beginning, but this is not the end. It's just the beginning of something much bigger, and just paying it forward, but also positioning you as role models to other entrepreneurs, to your peers in the industry. And this is what is important to us. Again, with everything that's happening in the world, during this time, the pandemic is still hitting hard around the world, and of course, what's happening in Ukraine and different parts around the world. It hasn't been easy, and us as women, of course, playing different roles and wearing different hats. So this is just truly an opportunity to say congratulations. We'll have more of that later on as we'll deep dive into our graduation ceremony. But the agenda for today is we still have really great content, a little bit of reflection and recap of what we've done, but also just a few tools and tips and tricks as you hit the ground running. Then we're gonna continue on with graduation. Some of us are going to want to say a few words as well. We'll take an opportunity to do a photo shoot, even though it's virtual. It's not as appealing, and it's not as photogenic, but we're still here. We want to say hi. We want to see your faces. So this will be an opportunity. Then we'll give you the certification, and we'll give you a moment to reflect and share. We've shared on the chat, on the group chat with you a little bit about what we're expecting, and we'll talk more about that soon. And then final congratulations. And with that, I'll hand it over to Lucero to kick us off before we'll start the ceremony. So Lucero, I'll hand it over to you.
Well, thank you. Nice to see all of you today. Last day, last facilitation. But listen, it's with a warm heart, because I've thoroughly enjoyed spending time with you every Tuesday. I'm going to miss next Tuesday. I'm going to be dialing in at 3 in case anyone wants to join me and have a chat. I'll be here just to ease things off slowly. But in any case, listen, it's been a real pleasure, and it's been a delight, and I'm honored, in all honesty, with you as a group, your engagement. There's nothing better than that for a facilitator, honestly, to engage with you, to get to know you. I feel I know you. So if I bump into you on the street, or if I'm in town ever in Latin America, I'm planning to go to Mexico in August. If any of you are around, it would be great, obviously, to meet. But let's kick off with, we know this is the last session, so we won't go on and on, but look at you. Look at what you've done and accomplished, I suppose, if I look at this slide and the 5 weeks and all of the content, right? Which has been just the way, I guess, we designed it, and I hope it rings true, is there's just been such a plethora of different techniques, and getting you to listen, but also engage, to hear from a panel, to have your sessions, your coaching, your shadowing. I mean, it's just been absolutely amazing in terms of what we've been able to do, what you've been able to accomplish. So what I wanted to do before we do the amazing celebratory bits and pieces is you would have seen the toolkit that's in the slide decks if you've gone in, right? And I never sort of went in depth with each slide. And I just wanted to, as we finish, I think it's a good reminder that you have this toolkit. And there's also a great book that I'm going to share in the chat, and I have it here with me. And it's called The Mentor Manual. And I'll put it in the chat because it's brilliant. I took some bits and pieces from there, but not everything. So it's not going to be on repeat, but it's an excellent book that actually has conversational topics for you in case you get stuck in a particular situation with a mentee. It'll give you some conversation ways to address things. And it just is an overall summary of everything that you've learned, I hope. Again, I haven't completed everything, but this is just a guide. And I know some of you in the chat were saying what books are there, and Paco has been great in recommending. So to kick it off, let's just kind of rewind a little bit and go back to sort of our first module where we went through bits and pieces. And again, just a reminder for you in terms of tips and tricks that hopefully you'll keep this bookmarked, this toolkit. There's about, I think, like 7 or so slides throughout, but just for you to remind yourselves around. The first thing here is the expectation setting, right? We keep going on and on about the clear expectations, the agreement for both you as a mentor and your mentee before the relationship starts. Setting those to be clear is just going to set you up for success, both you and the mentee. And it's going to avoid the confusion. The getting to know yourself, I think we spent a lot of time, right, especially in the panel last week around, what are your strengths? What should you be aware of in terms of you as a person, as a human coming into it? Identifying your knowledge, your experience, your gaps, your blind spots. We've done a lot of work around that to build your confidence. So reminding yourself as you take your first engagement, what are my strengths? What do I bring to the table? And what's my area of expertise that I'm confident about to mentor on? So just thinking about that as you get yourself going. Understanding your mentee, the third point here, that's just whoever you're paired with, just a general understanding of who they are. There's lots of opportunity on Google, LinkedIn to understand them, a little bit of a bio on where they are, who they are, what program they're on. If it's a Google program, you certainly will get more info there if that's the case, on the type of program, etc. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then the last 2 bits is preparing a schedule. This is very much around how often you're going to meet and allowing time to do that. And yes, we always say the ball is on the mentee's court, but making sure that if it's, on a monthly basis, however long the relationship is, that you set those in calendar, again, to avoid any misalignment there. I love the 5th point, being true to yourself. I think we stressed that last week and in the weeks before, that this whole title that we bring to the mentor or mentorship, right, relationship, and the mentor being a heavy title. It's not like you have superpowers, right? And that you should know all the answers and the burden on your shoulders to make sure that you respond and you answer. Listen, you're human, we're human, they're human. And so there could be instances where you don't know, and it's okay to say that. There's the good, the bad, the ugly, your life, you have a life. They have a life, they've been through ups and downs, you have as well, you've made mistakes. So I think just being open, and I want to just reiterate that, because that certainly happened to me when I first started my relationships, is, I'm the one that should know everything, the one that comes with the experience, hence why are we in this relationship? But I think the more sort of honest you are with yourself, the truer you are with yourself, I think it's just going to make it all that better for the relationship. So just things to keep in mind. I like these 2 next slides because they are around the goal setting. And we've been going on and on about that, right? And I used, I think, in one of the modules, SMART goals. So I'm going to share that in the second slide right after this, but just really important in terms of setting that relationship up for success, avoiding any miscommunication or disappointment, what you want to get out, right, of the relationship, or what your mentee wants to get out, in other words. Preparation, for example, what's expected from both you and the mentee, the cadence, as I explained as well. And just thinking about the SMART goals. So if I move on to this slide, what are SMART goals? And just thinking about that. Well, first, specific, the S stands for specific. having clear, well-defined goals, encouraging your mentee to think about that. The M standing for measurable. So is there a way to track the progress throughout the relationship, for example? And again, just thinking about how often you're going to meet, right? If it's a, we talked about if it's a one-off or if it's a series of 3 to 5 sessions, I think that's very important to keep in mind. And it can be done, right? Even if it's a one-off, I always start with what's the goal? What do you want out of this, hour that we have together? And so that's just setting up the goal, right? The A is for attainable. So, thinking about the mentee's goals, that they shouldn't be too off the charts or difficult to achieve because it can lead to disappointment. So just bearing in mind that. The R standing for relevant, that a goal should be relevant and linked to the overall sort of goal that the person has as they come into a relationship with you. And the T is for time bound. So do goals need to be achieved by a specific time frame? So this is all around setting a realistic time frame with the mentee to accomplish his or her goals. So that's SMART goals. Again, it's a tool for your toolkit. You may or may not want to use it. But like we talked about the GROW model in coaching, this is just another sort of acronym, SMART goals, as you think about helping the mentee set those goals. The strategy here, defining the strategy, well, once you've got the SMART goals in place or a goal in mind, it's very much about thinking about the overall strategy. So whatever goal that may be. So just to give you an example, if the goal is for the mentee to become a more effective leader, then your suggestion could be, okay, how do we improve active listening skills or your leadership communication skills, or what leaders do you admire and why? Have you been able to observe their actions? How's your time management looking like? Is there anything there from a skill set perspective? So this is just very much about planning, again, depending on how many sessions you do have with the mentee. So that's just something to bear in mind. And the last point here is just the tracking the progress, right? There's nothing worse than sort of meeting and then there's nothing structured and then you kind of shoot the breeze, as they say. But then it's like, what's the progress being made? We only have one more session. Oh my goodness. What have we accomplished? So again, a mutual agreement, I suppose, with your mentee, because I also want to caveat as much direction as you can or are willing to provide. It is the mentee, right, that is doing the homework, that is kind of steering the ship in a way. So this is for you advising and just providing suggestions on how to make the relationship the best possible one. So again, just tools for your toolkit. You will all have your own styles as well. So bringing that into account too is important. Planning your one-on-one. So let's say you're kicking off. Just again, some tips here to think about as you plan. We're in a virtual world, so how are you going to connect? Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, Zoom. We're all using all sorts of things. So agreeing on that, Skype, phone call even, a chat, or I don't know, in person if you're in a close vicinity could also come into play, right? So thinking about that. Again, being clear on how many sessions you're going to have, depending on the program that you're in. And here, just a couple of things around before session. Again, I mentioned the researching your mentee. Have a look at, familiarize yourselves with them. If LinkedIn is a tool for you, brushing up on your own expertise. This is all around you, and I won't reiterate that, but it's important to remind ourselves of that you all come highly skilled with lots to offer. Logistics, we spoke about that. Your intro session, again, some tips here. As you dive in, getting to know them. We talked about small talk. Who are you? How are you? Tell me about your career journey so far. Why did you join this, startup or found this startup, if it's startups that you're currently at. So again, you will have your own ways to do this, to introduce yourself and get to know them. Is important. The confidentiality, we brushed upon that in one of the modules. So that's contracting. So making sure that you do state that anything that is talked about will stay within your relationship and it won't go anywhere else. Discussing goals, we just spoke about that. So getting clear on that. Mutual expectations. So again, working styles, boundaries, how often you agree to get into contact. I've had some mentors, or I've had myself, where a chat, right? If you're open to WhatsApp or chat methods in Google, where, I'm free or I'm available. If you quickly ping me, that's okay. Again, boundaries, right? What do you want, and how much do you want to offer? I think that's very important to think about. And again, you set this agreement with the mentee, so expectations are set. And then that intro session, well, what happens next? This is where agreements come into play. You're booking your sessions, you're sharing relevant materials if that's the case, and you're starting to get connected. Hopefully, that chemistry is coming into play, and you're embarking on that relationship after that first initial intro session, which is important, right? Which is all around the chemistry, the small talk, the getting to know you, the setting the boundaries, the contracting, and et cetera, et cetera. So then a couple things around just virtual. Again, I think we brushed upon this in previous modules. We're also used to it right now, right? But it can get a little bit harder if you're not in person. So over-indexing on the communication, being clear. Again, if you don't understand a point, repeating that, paraphrasing, the strategizing, we spoke about that, how you plan. Digital technology, like we all have been in those cases where the technology doesn't work, the internet is rough, and so kind of finding ways, okay, we can get off the call, or, let's use the phone if we can't connect, for example, or rescheduling is absolutely fine if the internet's patchy, just thinking about that. Feedback mechanism, I think it's always important to, as a mentor, I've done this as well, is, how's it going for you? Is this okay? Is there anything I could have done more of, less of? What do you want to see more of? How are things going for you in the environment that we're in? I think that's just really important for you as well. I do that, kind of midway through. Nothing official like a form or anything. Again, if you're in a program like an accelerator type, there may be forms there that are sent to the mentees. Just you could say that verbally, and there's no harm in doing that. Next is just a couple things around ending mentoring relationships. Again, if you're part of a program, it might end naturally after any given sessions. Let's say there's 4 or 5 that are scheduled, then there's a natural end. So just a couple tips here on saying goodbye. Just things to remind yourself once you end, were the goals achieved, what contributed to the success, any obstacles that got in the way, tactics where you overcome them. And, if you were sort of to think things through, what could have been done differently. Again, just things to think about depending on the context of the relationship as well. There could be instances where, I've had this, where relationships end early. Let's say the mentee got everything they could out of you after a couple sessions, and that's absolutely fine, right? You don't have to necessarily be forced into a continuation if they got what they needed from you based, on your expertise. And then for you to say, listen, I think this person, or, if you go to this person on a separate topic, they could address your next issue because I'm not qualified to do so. And so therefore, you're using your network, or you're using the program manager if you're part of a program officially. So just thinking about that, it does happen, and so just being okay that those things happen, that relationships can end early, or they can go their full sort of 4 to 5, 6 sessions, or even sometimes, you have a relationship for life. Like we heard, I think Lynn was saying, she still sees her mentee from time to time after a few years. And so that's created a bond and a relationship, and that's okay as well, right? Just a couple of things to think about in terms of challenges. I think in one of the modules, we did get you to think about challenges when you broke out into pairs, into groups, and just, again, thinking about these. If the schedule isn't there, and let's say the mentee doesn't show up, or there's a lot of postponements, what does that tell you? Does the relationship fizzle out? Getting back to the mentee and asking, is there commitment there? Because, you both are time bound. There's lots of stuff, right? You're both are busy people. And so just, again, setting expectations around that. Or more frequent meetings, right? Or lots of pings or emails, and you can't quite, get to everything. So this is really good in terms of boundary setting. When expectations are they're unrealistic and they're not met, and the mentee assumes something and you assume the other thing. So again, very important, like I stressed at the start, to make sure that expectations are set and the goals are aligned and that the boundaries are set. So again, this is more the contracting in the first session, because what we don't want to create is over dependence on you, for example, lots of many things, and you just are overwhelmed in being able to answer, get in touch, or respond. And then the last point here, sometimes the chemistry isn't there, which again happens. And so just again, depending on the nature of the program that you're in, if you can get repaired, or if you're not in a particular program, then suggesting other people that the person may talk to who are better placed to mentor them. Another sort of following along the same thing when things don't go according to plan. So, their mentorship relationship may not end with a sense of satisfaction on the sort of mentee party, or even on the mentor perspective. So just, bearing that in mind as well, it happens. And so again, trying to resist the urge to fix it by putting more time and effort into it. Saying graciously, I'm sorry, but I've come to the end of what I can offer you. Maybe there's somebody else that's better placed to help, right? So again, that being okay. We do have the point that I made earlier around lifelong relationships that can continue. So absolutely fine. Again, if you contract that way. And we have spoken about you're a mentor, not necessarily a therapist. So just bearing in mind that, right? And what I do want to stress here, and I think we talked about this earlier, is just giving the space to the mentee. If they are coming to the table, they start the conversation with you as scheduled, and there's stuff going on for them. I've had this happen to me where they were in a meeting that didn't go according to plan, or something happened from a personal perspective and they aren't all sort of put together. I had this happen recently with a mentee who had bought a house. They were refurbishing it, and the contractors decided to leave the house in a mess. They never came back, and she's had to move house, actually country, for the time being, and there's no solution. So it was just, very emotional, lots of tears for the first, 15, 20 minutes. And we talked about it. And we gave her space, or I gave her space. And that's what she needed at the moment. And she didn't necessarily want to talk about business. And then she's like, thank you so much for hearing me. That was a great sort of just 15, 20 minutes spent talking about it. That's really helped me for what I need right now. Let me, book time again in a week's time, whenever we were going to meet next. Or let me email you a couple points after sort of I regroup. So that's the way I handled it, and it worked for her at the moment in time, that she needed it. So just bearing in mind that, right? Because we're a human as well, so we don't want to make it seem like we're just talking business. I think we did stress in a couple sessions to just, start with how are you, how are things, where are you coming from, what's going on, and then, continuing the conversation. So just bearing that in mind is important. And then a couple of just last bits and pieces around just common mistakes that are well researched around mentors. The first one here, mentor talking too much and not listening, right? So if you find yourself doing sort of 60, 70% of the talking, then sort of warning signals, right? Because it's the mentee, right, that should be the ones on the driving seat sharing, and you're there listening, advising for the most part. So that's just something to bear in mind. What you, for example, telling the mentee what they should do all the time, as opposed to thinking, the grow model, or wearing your coaching hat a little bit in terms of, well, how would you approach the solution, or how would you fix this or that? So get them to really think on their feet. So just bearing in mind, if you catch yourself doing that a lot, because I've caught myself sometimes doing that, because I like to advise and provide solutions, and I think that's our human nature and tendency to help and fix problems, but sometimes it's good for them to think things through. We talked a little bit about mistake number 3 here, the mentor failing to set the goals for the relationship. Again, it's a two-way street, so it's not for you to set the goals all the time, but it's a mutual understanding of what the mentee wants to work on with you, and then setting those goals together. And then the fourth one is just, again, I don't think that this applies to anyone here, but sometimes mentors come in with that ego, right? I know this, therefore I know more than you, therefore you should be doing this, therefore that's the way things go. And so that sometimes takes center stage. So that's just something, again, I don't think it applies to this wonderful group, but just something to bear in mind. And then the last thing I do like to share, I wanted to share earlier, but we haven't had the time, is just this mentor manifesto that I came across. And it's from David Cohen of Techstars. And he developed this about 6 years ago. by watching, lots and lots of companies come through who've interacted with hundreds of mentors. And so he witnessed many, many thousands of sort of mentor interactions from some of the best sort of entrepreneurs, investors that were around. And he came up with these, I think, what is it? There are 18 points here of what mentors should consider if they want to build effective relationships with the people that they're working with. And so I'm not going to go through all 18, but what I would encourage you is just to have a look, because I found some of these really inspirational and very much like, oh my goodness, yes, I hadn't necessarily thought of that. I almost like kind of printed and like put it somewhere near my desk as I'm having, my mentoring relationships. And I just kind of remind myself of this manifesto. And what I did, and I encourage you to do if you want, is I reviewed all 18 and I identified one strength that I thought, oh, you know what, I think I bring that to the table, I'm really good at. And then one area where I wanted to lean into more that I hadn't necessarily practiced or it wasn't top of mind. And I kind of highlighted those. And it just kind of reminds me as I go into relationships. And sometimes, I practice the one that I want to lean into and then it turns into something else because there's so many here that are just good reminders as you embark on your journey, just to kind of keep top of mind as you go through this wonderful world of mentoring. So I thought I'd leave you with that to take a look at, to print, to have handy, to highlight if you want to do the same exercise I did, because it's just good, useful information. So with that, that concludes the toolkit, the part of the content part of this session today. Again, it's there for you. So hopefully you'll have it stored somewhere, bookmarked. And then I will, as I hand over, I'll write the name of this wonderful book for you to, if you're curious to order. It has lots of great pieces of information. So I'll share that in the chat in a moment. But with that, thank you. I will hand it over to Janelle.
Thank you. So after we have our graduation ceremony today, we will follow up with our standard recap. We'll provide session content from today, the graduation certificate, so you can share that. We'll also be sending a feedback form. And on that note, I just wanted to say we truly take feedback very, very seriously. I want you guys to be as honest as possible. This is the first time we've done this program, and we want to always continue to make it better. So any feedback you have, we'll review it and we'll adjust this program accordingly. I also, likely next week, full transparency, I'm going on vacation. So we'll send more comms next week that will explain next step to become a Google for Startups Accelerator mentor. We'll share more learning resources. You have swag coming to your homes. Like, there's a lot to celebrate. So I'll send more information next week. And we'll also share what other types of Google mentoring programs exist, as well as networking opportunities for other women in tech, not only in LATAM, but globally. So we will update that on the program hub, as well as I will send an email reminder. And I just wanted to thank everyone for their very active participation. We really hope this was a good use of your time. And we've been really thrilled with everyone's, candid comments, and I'm just absolutely delighted. So thank you. This was quite a commitment, and I know everyone has, tons of responsibilities day to day, and to carve out this time to really enhance your skills, build confidence for mentoring is important. And we recognize that, you spent a lot of time with us, so we're appreciative on our end. And I think that's it for me. Lucera, was there another slide after that? Oh, okay. This is just a recap of what I just said. So we will send clear details on all of these opportunities for you to start mentoring, start networking, etc. We will keep the WhatsApp group. So if that's beneficial and for you guys to connect, please use it. It's there for you. And the exciting thing about this is that as we scale this program from region to region, the network of graduates is just going to become bigger and more diverse. So we will follow up with how to engage with the network as time goes on and we have more people participating. We might have one more slide, Lucero. Yes. So yeah, these are just reminders of your access to networking. We also have the Google group set up. Please feel free to use that. And if you have questions, contact the program team. But I think everything should be pretty straightforward in our comms, and we just really hope this was a good, positive experience for you. I think that's it for me. Sherry, did you want to add anything? Oh, yes. Thank you, Lucero. We have the social toolkit that was already shared. We'll share it again, and it's updated for graduation celebration. When you receive your certificate this week, feel free to promote that on social networks, however you see fit. We'll share the messaging that you can post, and we just really want this to feel like a community and celebrate you guys. So we will send instructions for that. And I might be in contact down the line to maybe showcase some of you if you're active mentoring after this. We'd love to highlight, how you got there, etc. So I will be in touch for that. And I think that's it. Unless Sherry wanted to say a quick something.
I think after that, Lucera is going to talk about her engagement with two other sessions. So the next slide, and then we'll open up to questions, and then we'll kick off the graduation ceremony.
Perfect.
So, Lucera.
Yeah. So a bit of a little surprise. If you want to continue your coaching engagements, for those who hopefully some of you had, I hope all of you engaged with Pitch Ninjas. There's going to be 2 additional one-on-one. So for those of you that had one, you can go ahead and book time with the coach that you used already and continue your journey with him or her for 2 more sessions. So again, total of 3. For those of you that already had one, that means 2 more. So feel free. The way it's going to work is you don't have to go on the platform or do any of that. You just go back on email to your coach and just say, I'm ready for my second session. You book time and calendar with the coach. So you do that all separately. And then there you are, you're continuing your communication journey. I think just a good opportunity as we close the program to just have time, because I know we were quite rushed with the first session. So just have time in your pockets to use when you feel willing and able. So there's no rush. It's not like that it's going to expire. I put out a call to all our coaches that, they're going to come back to you if they want to. So again, it's not mandatory. I do want to say that. It's not mandatory that you all have to complete this, and I'm not going to chase you. But I'm just giving the gift to you to continue if you want. And our coaches know that they should hear from you accordingly. And then for those that didn't book, again, let me know, send me an email, and we can get you started. So again, I do want to give the opportunity to everybody. So that is a little icing on the top, but I know some of you wanted to continue the journey. So I don't want to say no. All right. That's it from, oh yes, questions. There you are. For me or the programs team. Anything on your mind? Okay, some of you already have coaching sessions. Fabulous. I'm just reading the chat. Go ahead, Sherry.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say there are no questions at the moment. We're always here. You have our emails, you have our contact info. Ale is here for LATAM, and we're here on the global perspective as well. So feel free to always reach out and ask any questions. But I do see a question about the WhatsApp group. So we can share a link to join the WhatsApp group again. We can find the quick link and share it with you soon.
Okay, there's a question, Sherry, an alternative to the WhatsApp group to communicate.
I'm not
No,
sure
I mean,
what
like,
is an
there's
alternative
Other
WhatsApp group.
Other options.
Yeah, we have
Other options,
the
yes.
Google
Yeah,
group
go ahead, Janelle.
set up, and that will exist. So feel free to use that. I believe also as we go on and have more graduates of this program, we might have other opportunities to network, we will absolutely keep everyone in the loop on that. So more to come there.
Okay, there's a question on missing their mentor one-on-one. First shadow, lots of work. Can Cynthia, yes, can she do that?
I think Ale is in touch with those who have missed their. By the way, in our program hub, in the external program hub that you all have access to, in the participant tab, there's actually 2 columns that are dedicated and that are checked if you have done both, the shadowing and mentoring. So you can take a look, and if you do not see yourself completely checked with both, please check in with us and with Ale to make sure you've completed both. Because just as a reminder, those who have not completed both will not be able to fully graduate. So we can share the link as well.
Okay, yeah, there's a link that Viviana is asking for. I think that's more the Google Groups. And then Belen. Belen, what if one of the mentees told her that they wanted to continue to work on mentoring with her? Is that for her to schedule?
So moving forward, after we're done with this program, it would just be your personal engagement. So it's really up to you. If you want to, that's great. We highly encourage it for sure. We think it's great. But if you do not, then it's up to you as well. So it will not be a part of the program, but if you want on a personal note, you can. And then shall we report all of our mentor-related activities to you? So our plan is not for you to report each and every activity, but we will be sharing a survey, I believe, either 3 months or 6 months after the program to kind of get up to date with your activities. That being said, if you have any milestone or success stories or anything you want to share with us, if you started mentoring somewhere that's been, transforming for you, or if something happened, please send us a note. A simple email would just really go a really long way for us. And we love hearing those stories. Janelle, I don't know if there's anything you want to add. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll provide my direct email for that. If you guys have success stories, please feel free to email me there. The other thing I was going to say, Paco, who leads accelerators in LATAM, will be onboarding everyone to the mentor program for that. And that whole process, which will become very clear when it starts, we do report mentoring activities through a platform. So we'll see what you guys are up to, and we'll stay in touch.
Also, just to add that this is a pilot, so a few processes might change. So expect an email with all the processes. Yay!
All right.
All right. So with that, we're going to kick off our graduation ceremony. Janelle, would you like to say a few words before we officially kick things off?
Sure. I will just reiterate what I said previously. We're just really thankful for everyone's very active engagement. We couldn't be more thrilled with how this turned out on our end. And as Sherry reminded everyone, this is a pilot. You guys are the first people to go through this program. So please, please, please provide us as much feedback as you're willing. We take it really serious, and we'll iterate this program and update it to make it even better based on your feedback. And we want to stay in touch. So as I mentioned, you can definitely reach out to my email directly if you have success stories, what have you. If you have feedback that you don't want to put in the form, you can definitely shoot me a note privately. But we're really proud of everyone. We're looking forward to hearing in this graduation ceremony learnings from you. What was the highlight? I also just want to say thank you to Lucero, who truly built this from the ground up. She, I don't know if we mentioned this, but Lucero used to be a Googler, and now she's running her consultancy firm. And this is no easy effort creating all of this content. And I will absolutely share the feedback with her as well. And just thank you for all your time. We have very busy lives, and I know that dialing in over VC might not be the first option, but we are here, and maybe someday we'll be able to run this in person. So just thank you, thank you, thank you. We look forward to, seeing you guys all thrive mentoring. And yeah, I think that's it for me. We'll provide a lot of opportunities to get involved, and we're really thankful for you guys. We also might, just an FYI, Sequoia, who you will see signed your graduation certificates, is the lead for the Women Techmakers program. She may be dialing in, so I might jump in during this graduation ceremony. She wanted to say a few words, so I apologize. I will raise my hand virtually if she joins us, and she might pop in for a second.
Thanks, Janelle. I guess we are thanking our mentor coaches, who you can see here projected. I think maybe some are on the call. If you are, again, a warm thank you for coming on to the program. We have 2 slides here, so we're not forgetting everybody. Just, I guess, from the bottom of our hearts, as we put the program together, amazing, incredible women, which I'm sure you've all experienced, them and what they brought to the table. And some of them were on the panel last week. And so it's just a warm thank you, because it is also time, that they've taken, because they're passionate, right? They're busy as well. They're passionate about the topic, and they've been there, done that, but they also want to share and inspire you to do the same, right? And so that's just a warm thank you. For those that are on the call, again, thank you very much. It's been super inspiring for me even to meet you and learn about you, but I know you did wonders with our participants on the call. So I'm very thankful for that.
I would also add, in the future, if any graduates are interested in becoming a mentor coach for programs that we host down the line, let us know. That's definitely an opportunity to pay it forward.
Yeah, true. And we'll remember who you all are. So, and then we'll send those emails out and see if you're able and willing. So yeah, no, you're not going too far. No, I'm joking. No, I'm not joking. Okay, fabulous. So here we are.
Sorry, I had one more thing to say.
Go.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. So what I just did was say, I'm sorry. And we shouldn't be doing that. So that's take another mentor coaching training. I just wanted to say one last thing. Obviously, this is very beautiful, seeing women supporting women and uplifting one another. I've noticed just people being so thankful for one another and sharing in this safe space. But we also do have male allies that have brought this program to life. We have Brett, we have Paco and Lariam, we have a manager on our team, Jeremy, and others that were so supportive of this. And when they saw a proposal for us to create this program, they were the biggest champions. So I just wanted to shout that out. Don't ever forget that there's lots of men out there that, want more women to be mentoring and see you and your expertise. And I'm just really grateful for them as well.
Thank you. Fantastic. So we will crack on with the certification, and allow me to wear my hat because I ordered one and I don't have it. So I'm putting my hat on because I'm going to moderate your certificates, everybody. Yes. So what we will be doing is you're going to have 2 slides. And I think Basha, right, sent out a wonderful WhatsApp to prep you. So we'll have the certificate and then the reflection of just going off mute as we certify you, and sharing one of the following: biggest learning, I can't wait to ... or your advice to your future self would be fantastic, because what we want to do for the remainder of the time is just to hear from everybody, right? And have a more formal, as you can imagine, if we were live, we would all be sort of sitting with our graduation caps and our gowns ready to go. So that's how we're going to do it. And Basha, you've prepared wonderful slides, and the team has prepared a wonderful certificate here to kick off. So with that, we've got Ana Paola as our
Yes,
first one. There you are.
thank you. Well, first off,
Like background clapping. There you are,
yes.
certification awarded to you. And there we are. We also managed to get your headshot. So, Ana Paula, please, the stage is yours.
Well, first off, thank you, everyone. This was an amazing program, and I believe the most important takeaway from this was learning to trust and believe in myself when it comes to mentoring. The analogy that Ana Echeverri made at some point regarding the invisible ladder was really a key for me in this program. And yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ana Paula. Congratulations. Next, we have Belen.
Hi, thank you
Yay.
so much. The biggest learning that I have to share is that I learned that no matter the difference that we have, for example, someone that is from another country or works in another field as I do, there will always be something that I can help with or teach, or someone can help me with or teach me. And no matter the role that I take, if I am a mentor or if I am a mentee, there will always be this exchange in great exchange. I really loved it, and it helped me gain confidence.
Yay, Belen.
Thank you.
Thank you for those words. Very inspiring. Thank you. All right, Viviana.
Well, thank you. First of all, this was an amazing experience. And I think my biggest learning was how to communicate more effectively with my fellow mentees and definitely gaining confidence, which is something that I was lacking, especially in these sessions. So thank you.
Amazing. Viviana, thank you so much. Great
Thank you.
learning. Next up, Candy. Congratulations.
Hi there. So I'm so grateful for this time and for this experience. And my advice to my future self is that be generous with the knowledge and experience you have acquired and find the time to share it.
Thank you. Yes. Great takeaway. We all have something to share. Thank you. All right, Cynthia. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's such a been a great experience to know about everything from you, and my mentee is great. I'm super thankful. I learned a lot of stuff, that the language is not a barrier, and the security stuff, a lot of stuff. I can't even, I don't know, say more about this. I feel great with this, and I hope in my industry, because it's not a, everything is so jealous about information, and I want to make a new path for the future generations, or even in the present time, and make more networking and share all my experience, and still learning, and could be a great mentor for the next and future generations or women to be in my industry of the entertainment. So it's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Yay. Bravísimo. All right. Cynthia.
Hi everybody. Thank you for this program. I'm really happy. I think I had a lot of learnings. Not just about how to be a better mentor, but about myself. And I think that I just can't wait to put in practice all this knowledge to empower more people, more women. I think that as long as I continue being a mentor, I'm going to improve a lot of things and I'm going to master a lot of these learnings. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing this knowledge to prepare this program, and to all the participants, because I learned a lot of them too. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. The famous CD-ROM. I love it. We won't forget that name. Thank you very much. All right, next up we have Ellie.
Hi, everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And not only for the program, also to all my peers, because I learn a lot from them too. Well, my biggest learning is that becoming a mentor is more about making the right questions and less about having all the answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. Great points. Fantastic. Congratulations. All right, Elizabeth. Are you there? Maybe she's not. I can't see the full list. All right, Juliana. Congratulations. You're on the call. No, Juliana.
Yes, I see Juliana. No, it's other Juliana.
Okay. Let's move. Maybe. Okay, Julia. If you're on the call. No, Julia as well. Let's see. I don't see a Julia. Okay, we will move forward. Juliana. I see you're on the call.
Hello.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the program. I think it's really helpful. And we got a lot of learnings from the practical experience. They were like pretty cool. My biggest learning was that mentoring different like type of people, it's pretty different, like the approach of how to you mentor somebody that have maybe a product personality or a commercial personality. It's very different, how to you approach them, get like their confidence. And I think that was pretty cool to see it in the practical area, having more results. So I love it, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for that highlight. Congrats. Thank you so much. All right, next up is the other Juliana.
Yes, hello.
Congrats.
And yes, thank you all guys, the team and the participants and the Google team for this new opportunity for all of the women that we're trying to get to the next level on this region. And my biggest learning is knowing that sharing all of our experiences, no matter in the level we are, it's absolutely important and remarkable for each of us. And I can't wait to spread all my knowledge and to empower different women to get to the next level. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can't wait to get you started. So thank you for sharing that valuable insights. All right, Katria, hello. Congratulations. You're on the call.
Thank you so much for everything. For me, is to remind how much I love to be mentor and to take this activity as a path in my career and not just like something temporal. Make things happen in that order to be an active mentor. So really thank you for everything. I love the pitch ninjas. For me was a really nice experience to take away. So thank you for everything.
Fantastic. Well, congrats, Katria. Thank you for sharing. Fantastic. All right. Ludmila, congrats.
Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to participate in this program, and I can't wait to start mentoring other startups in the Americas, because when you mentor, you not only contribute to other startups, but you also learn and you increase your networking. So I'm really happy.
Thank you. Yes. So you're all increasing the networking. You have your network amongst yourselves as mentors. So thinking about both ends, right? Your own network, like we talked about previously, and then this network of wonderful women. So leveraging that. So thank you. Thank you for sharing and congratulations. Great. So Luisa, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really thankful for meeting you all, specifically also the girls that I work with on the workshops. It was amazing to see all the women from all different industries, and as many said, like we have so many things to share, and I think we should keep in touch and support each other. My biggest learning is that sometimes a good question could be more useful than an actual solution. As you mentioned, I'm very like engineer minded, and I tend to solve problems. So I realized that sometimes it's better to ask good questions than to actually give solutions. And I can't wait to build on top of that, like keep mentoring and even building content towards asking the right questions as opposed to giving solutions.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love that you said that because it's hard. It's hard. When I started my mentoring, even coaching, I remember that was the first sort of autopilot that I would do because I would feel good, and I gave them an answer and I felt good. But the real work comes when you kind of refrain, and if you're self-aware enough to kind of refrain yourself from, okay, and maybe if it's like the pause, remember we talked about the silence. It's okay. And being comfortable with that silence. But it's a muscle we build, right? It's like going to the gym. It just takes time, but being self-aware. So thank you for sharing that. I think that resonates with all of us. So congratulations, Luisa, and thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, Marcela, congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. This program has been very helpful for me, and my biggest learning is that I don't need to be a specialist on a hard skill because soft skills are also very important. And that's something that I definitely can help with to the entrepreneurs. And I feel way more confident to share that knowledge and experience with the startups now. I wish I had this program like way earlier in my life, in my professional life. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you, Marcela. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. It doesn't matter. It didn't happen before, but at least, it's never too late. So yes, as you go through your relationships, thank you so much. You'll take something away. Thank you. So next up, Maria Isabel, congratulations.
Hi, everyone. I'm really glad to meet you during this program. My biggest learning is that in order to be a great mentor, I need to have a mentor for myself. I've been a mentor, a boss, a teacher for so long, and I never had this kind of opportunities of spaces for myself. So I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful for this space. So this is the big learning for me. And also to have a mentor that is a woman is completely different.
Yeah, yeah. I know I empathize with that because I tell myself the same thing to have a coach myself, a mentor myself, and it's hard. But I think that's really good reminder for us all. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Maria, and congratulations. Janelle, you've raised your hands. Is it time?
We have the lovely Sequoia just dialed in. So Sequoia, if you could introduce yourself and tell these lovely ladies a little bit about Women Techmakers, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little late. I am actually in Seattle today doing a team offsite, so I'll have to hop, unfortunately, right after this. But yeah, I wanted to hop on for a moment, and introduce myself. So I am Sequoia Patrick. I'm the global lead for Women Techmakers. So if you don't know a lot about Women Techmakers, so we're basically a program focused on building community visibility and resources for women in tech. And we do that in a lot of different ways. We have an ambassador program where we have over 1,000 ambassadors today globally. and they really focus on doing event organization, speaking at events, content creation, and things like mentorship. So when Janelle and Shiri and team came to me and wanted to do this mentorship program, it made perfect sense for it to fall within Women Techmakers. And I'm so happy that we were able to do this. And I wanted to really just hop on and thank you all for your dedication and commitment to being kind of a part of the flagship Women Techmaker mentorship program. And I'm looking forward to see where it goes in the future and provide my help and guidance in any way that I can.
Thank you so much, Sequoia. And as I mentioned, we'll send out more information about the Women Techmakers program. And this is, if we could take a quick break and take our group photo. We were supposed to do it earlier, but before anyone hops off, we'd love to capture that. So, Basha, are you on the call? Can you maybe lead us, tell us when you're gonna take the screenshot?
Yeah, sure. We can just do a countdown. So just make sure everyone's smiling and looking your best selves. So here we go. So let's do 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, great. And maybe just one more just in case. All right, one more. 1, 2, 3. Amazing. Thank you all. And thank you, Sequoia.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sequoia.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, let the ceremony continue.
All right, everybody, we're back from a little bit of a break, and Sequoia, thank you so much. Let me get back to the podium for seconds as I make my way up. One moment. And here we go. All right. So we have Maritza, if I can call you up and congratulate you, if you are there. Maritza, okay, she might not be on.
Hello.
You are on. Yes. Yes. I can
Mucho
see.
gusto.
Hi, Maritza.
¿Puedo,
Congratulations.
¿puedo hablar en español?
Claro, ándale, sí.
Bueno, quería agradecer y bueno, al equipo de Google. También quería agradecer, bueno, lo mejor que he aprendido en esta mentoría fue las experiencias con las startups, fue los consejos, los tips que me llevo de mi mentora, que es Ana Echeverry. Y bueno, ¿no? Todo lo que he aprendido, la verdad, las oportunidades que tuve aquí en mentorías, en la mentoría, fue de mucho, fue de mucho. Yo simplemente pensé que era tal vez algo como qué es lo que hay que aprender, algunos conceptos tal vez sobre mentoría y todo ello, pero la verdad no, fue algo más intenso y bueno, lo llevo todo lo que he aprendido en esta mentoría, ¿no? Muchas gracias y gracias por la oportunidad.
Gracias, Maritza. Lo digo en inglés para los demás. Pero gracias, mil gracias y felicidades. So just to help Maritza, I just translate for those non-Spanish speakers. So she just wanted to thank the program for her experiences, all the tips that were shared, for Ana Echeverry, who was her mentor coach, for everything that she's learned and all the opportunities that she's been able to get as a result of being here. She was expecting, it's not quite what she was expecting. She was saying in terms of like the intensity that she was able to experience, which was all very well worth it. So she just wants to thank everyone for that. And those were her biggest learnings. So again, gracias, Maritza. Thank you for sharing. Congratulations as well. All right, thank you. Next we have Oriana on the call. Congratulations. Hi.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm very grateful to have been allowed to participate in this experience. It's been very full of learnings. The biggest one is that I believe anyone can be in a position of becoming a mentor or being a mentee. but the right framework to do so can make really a difference in really helping someone. I can't wait to use all of these new tools. And my advice to my future self is to always give myself the opportunity to participate in programs like this, where you build a community and you're so inspired by other great women. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oriana. Very lovely words. Congratulations again. So thank you for sharing your learnings. All right. Pamela, congratulations.
Hi, thank you. Well, I'm feeling very grateful for the opportunity to be in this program. It has been awesome to meet you all. You are great women, and my biggest learning is to listen. Many times I listen to the people whom I speak, and they share their problems. I immediately want to jump to give a solution. So now I understand that I do not always have to think about solving. Sometimes active listening can be very powerful and helpful for the mentees. So that's one of the many outcomes I got from this. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. Active listening, yes, a big takeaway. So thank you for sharing that and reminding us that that's very important and hard to do. But thank you. Congratulations again. Next up, Raza.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you. Well, my biggest learning was the role of being a mentor, what it does, the true meaning and the goals of a formal mentorship, and trying to lift the weight of the word mentor is a big deal, but not a hard thing. And sometimes we just have to sing the song Wonder Woman, because baby, I am Wonder Woman. So it's a great learning, and I'm glad to be here and meet all these amazing person. Really, you changed my life.
Thank you so much. Amazing. Congratulations as well. Fabulous. Rosa, congratulations.
Thanks a lot for this great program, especially, for example, for me as a technical or analytical profile, it was great. I improved a lot my communication. And I think my biggest learning is to understand the audience, so you can speak in the same language, even though you are speaking both in Spanish or both in English. It was like super useful, so you can connect better with the mentee, and the message lands better. I mean, the session fulfilled the mentee expectation. So it was great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rosa. Congratulations as well. Bravo. Fabulous. All right, Sandra. Congratulations.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. This was an awesome program. So thank you very much. Thanks for the friends and all the awesome connections. I think my biggest learning was to, I don't know, trust my superpowers and have a framework to help other people find their own and trust them as well. So yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra. We all have superpowers, so yes, digging into them, trusting them, that's self-confidence. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and congratulations. Okay, Victoria. Bravo. Victoria. I think she might have seen something on the chat that she came in and off.
She
Are you
was
there?
here
And I think she, yes, saw something. Victoria, Victoria. Okay, well, we'll leave that to her. Okay, well, I think with that concludes everyone. Did I miss anybody? And did everybody get their certificates and come up to the podium? Shout, raise your hand if I missed you, but I think we've caught everybody. All right, we did our photo op, so we won't do it again. So we have that, we'll send that to you alongside. I know there was some certificates, so I know Shiri responded to that. I get it. So with that, that concludes our ceremony, our graduation, the content. Early. Listen, we've got about 45 minutes left, and as much as I want to keep you, I'll give you the gift of time back. Unless, yes, Janelle, Shiri, Ale, you raised your hand. Go for it, and we'll conclude.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for supporting us and being part of this community as mentors. Without you, our programs will not be what they are today. We are very happy that startups are still looking for us, and that is because of you. So, bravo.
Yay, bravo.
All for you.
And Ale, thank you for everything. I know we profusely said thank you for everything that you managed. So another bravo to Ale for her organization and commitment from a program's perspective. You deserve a certificate, and bravo. Okay, Marcela, you raised your hand.
Yes, I just wanted also to thank Ale for coordinating this whole effort because she was the one backstage making all the coordinations to do the mentorships with the startups. And I know that that implies a lot of work, and she's always on top of things. So many thanks, Ale, also for making this happen, and to all the Google team and to Lucero. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you. So I guess that concludes the program. We are early, so hopefully you got the time of, the gift of time back. Anything else, Janelle, Shiri, that I may have missed before we say our final goodbye?
No, this is just, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Someone was talking. No, this is just really our kind of last opportunity to say thank you so much. We really came to this with this long-term vision of how we are building more diverse and inclusive ecosystems. So startup and developer ecosystem and just tech ecosystems in general. And you are a big part of that. And I hope you'll be also kind of the ambassadors of this as well, and we just hope to train as many women as possible and make sure that they contribute both to our programs but then just back to their ecosystems as well. We want to see more women that are mentors. Some of you mentor, and to be a great mentor you need a mentor as well, and what a better mentor is like from someone that you identify with, and other women as well, to show that we can, and to see other success stories is so important. So yeah, we're grateful, and as you can see, it takes a team, it takes a village, and I am also grateful for my peers and colleagues that jumped on this idea and bigger vision of how we see a more diverse ecosystem. So just wanted to say shout out to our great team and Lucero for really helping us shape this vision and bring it into life, and for all of you for being a part of it. Just wanted to say that. Thank you.
And it's not goodbye, it's see you later. We will definitely be in touch. Please don't hesitate to connect with the Google team or with everyone that went through this program. Like, we really want to keep the conversation going, and we're here to support you guys.
Yeah, we are. So really quick, Marcela, your comment, like, let's mentor each other. Yes, I love it. Yes, we all have something to give. So I love it. Love it, love it. So thank you. Thank you all. And with that, thank you so much. Big hug, big kiss, big everything from me, and big wave, and hope we connect soon. Bravo. Congrats, everyone.